Hello folks, welcome to another video. Hope this one finds you well. And right off the bat, let me express my gratitude for the recent support that you've shown the old man here on the channel. Noticed a few brave souls join the illustrious ranks of channel subscribers in recent times. Thank you, welcome aboard, and of course thank you to those of you diehards, you true believers that have been around for a while. I very much appreciate your kindness and your humour. You guys make me laugh, and boy, don't we all need a good chuckle these days. So thank you one and all. A couple of recent videos have attracted considerably more attention than a typical video of mine does. The video before this one, which was when I flew into Juneau, the Q4 XP, and we were kind of exploring the new beta 12.2.0. That video has attracted a couple of thousand views in a matter of days. Now that might not sound like a lot to you, and for the big name content creators, that's a drop in the ocean. But for an old man sitting here talking to you now, with his dog and a couple of birds in the background, 2,000 views is a lot. And it's practically viral, folks. Always wanted to go viral, little one. As I look at my dog, and she says, "You're not viral, mate. Pull the other one." Always brings me back to earth, my little one. But yeah, a couple of videos have attracted, considerably more attention. So thank you. I hope that you've enjoyed those. Of course, not everyone has, and a few dickheads have shown their hand. I find the dickhead ratio, technical term folks, the dickhead ratio is proportional to how many views and likes a video does get. But the more likes, the more views, the more chance that a dickhead will show their hand and provide their thoughts, their feedback on what they think of my productions and my style, and occasionally my character. That happens. Thankfully, YouTube, the spam comment filtery thing captures most of it, but occasionally they get through, and I have to remove them manually. And very occasionally, a true dickhead will contact me via other platforms to reinforce what they think of me. If that's you, yeah, you do you. That's on you, but I find it very, very sad that a person would choose to invest their life sharing their feedback, negative feedback, on what is a YouTube video. A bit of nonsense. Some people are holding on a little too tight. Anyway, folks, all that aside, we've got a bit of a treat today. Something a little different here on the channel. A night flight. Yes, a night flight. Doesn't happen very often. I do like flying at night, particularly in X-Plane. And so we're going to do that. It's a night flight. It's featuring the aircraft on your screen if you can make it out. Kind of difficult to make out in the the black livery against the black night. But I kind of like how this how the car lights are illuminating the aircraft. Wasn't expecting that. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's all right, isn't it? I kind of like that. That's nice. That looks pretty bloody realistic for mine. Look at the trees swaying. That's really nice. Don't mind me, folks. I'm just appreciating what I'm seeing on my screen. Yeah, so we're going to go on a night flight. A little bit of story, a little bit of background to this one. I might explain as I show you the flight plan. And as I mentioned, I do fly at night quite often, actually. And when I do fly at night, it is generally in X-Plane. For mine, X-Plane's certainly my preferred night sim. I think it has the best night environment. And that goes back several versions of X-Plane. I think I joined the X-Plane bandwagon in X-Plane with X-Plane 9, I think. So whatever year that was, that's a while ago. And yeah, have enjoyed night flying ever since. And the other night, before I get to today's flight, sorry folks, there's no script here. It's stream of consciousness stuff here on the channel. The other night, I was doing a night flight in this latest beta, 12.2.0 beta number 1. And I flew from down here in Christchurch on the South Island of New Zealand up to our destination today. Or at least that was the intention. Our destination being Nelson. Beautiful Nelson, one of my favourite places to fly in and out of. And I was flying a little bug smasher. Steam gauges. I might feature it on the channel one day. But I didn't have all the fancy glass stuff. And the weather was bloody awful. And it's X-plane night, so it's very dark. And yeah, I've flown this route from sort of Christchurch down here, up over the hills, into Nelson a few times over the years. And I've kind of worked out a bit of a route, sort of valleys and whatever. And I kind of know where the peaks are. And I thought I did. But the weather was bloody awful. I was getting chucked around. I kind of lost situational awareness. And anyway, I planted it down here somewhere, down in the Golden Downs area. So apologies to the virtual residents of Golden Downs. You now have a wreckage on the side of one of these hills. I was just way too low. I basically started my descent too early, and I kind of was expecting to sort of fly up this valley. But I didn't see the terra firma basically until a fraction of a second before I hit it, and then a flaming wreck followed. So it's been a while since I've crashed, and it was a bit of a shock, I've got to say. Quite disappointing after making my way in that aircraft, and I was looking forward to a nice touchdown in Nelson. And so I thought, I've got to redeem myself. This is all about personal redemption, folks. There you go. That's what this video is about. I thought I'm going to fly a different aeroplane because, well, quite frankly, there's a bit of trauma attached to this aircraft now. I'm not sure that I can fly it again. I'm going to fly a different aeroplane, one that has very good sort of terrain awareness. And I'm going to fly it from the north rather than from the south. So our flight today will take us from a little place that you've probably never heard of called Te Kuiti. I've heard of Te Kuiti. I've driven through Te Kuiti a couple of times, very quickly. Gave me some serious vibes, Te Kuiti, when I came through here IRL. But I'm sure it's a lovely place. Te Kuiti, and we're heading down to Nelson, across the Cook Strait, and we're going to fly. It looks like an instrument approach, is what I've got plugged in here in little nav map. An instrument approach, landing runway 02. There's a fairly strong northerly blowing, apparently. So shortish flight. We're going to fly the Pilatus PC-12. That's the aircraft that you saw in that opening segment. I've got my livery, my YOLO livery. I've talked about how to create that in a previous video. Yeah, and this is an FS economy run. This is actually a really nice money maker. I own an FBO up here in Te Kuiti. And I've got some packs and some cargo. Quite a nice little earner this is, that want to go to Nelson. So who am I to say no? Eh? So that's the flight plan, folks. We're a nighttime flight in the PC-12. There won't be a lot to see, but we will demonstrate X-Plane 12's night lighting for what it's worth. Both inside the aircraft and also when we get to Nelson. There's not much to see here in Te Kuiti. It is dark. It is scary dark in Te Kuiti. But hopefully we'll have some lights to look at to appreciate when we get down to Nelson. Anyway, that's the flight plan. Without further ado, I'm going to get us started. Load up those packs and that cargo, and let's go flying. Engine start has been achieved. We've got our flight plan plugged into the box. We've made up a score code, 2345. Yes, creativity is not my strong point, folks. We're going to be at MTO for this flight. So if you're looking down here at the fuel gauge and you're thinking, geez, you're a bit light on, fella. I know. I literally can't carry any more fuel. We've got 7 packs and a bunch of cargo that wants to go down to Nelson. Well, the packs want to go to Nelson. The cargo is going to Nelson whether it likes to or wants to or not. But someone else wants the cargo to go there. So we're loaded up. we're going to make a nice little bit of virtual coin from this flight, but that's as much fuel as we can carry. It'll be enough to get us to Nelson. Do you want to have a quick look at the sort of night lighting here in the PC-12, for those of you that are unfamiliar with it? It's kind of nice. Nice place to be, particularly when you dim the lights. I've got dome lights and stuff on, so it's a little bit bright in here, heading back towards the cabin. In fact, I can jump into the cabin like that. Oh, it's a pretty light, isn't it? Pretty bright. Not helped by the the headlights in the eyes either. Of course, we can customize the lighting down here on the pedestals, so we can get rid of that dome light as my dog decides that the lights are too bright for her eyes. You see how it gets atmospheric. Look at that. That's kind of nice, eh? It's still bright in the back. Of course, we can darken it in the back as well and come back, turn this one down, but leave the reading lights on, and then we get a look like that. Right, so just the reading lights are on. Kind of nice. Jump into the back for you. We're getting moody in the back of the Pilatus, eh? Nice place to be. Anyway, folks, I'm going to find a way to get us out onto runway 34 at Te Kuiti. A bit of a crosswind, as there so often is. I tell you, Te Kuiti is one of my... I've got a love-hate relationship with the place in the virtual sense. It's one of the hardest aerodromes to find here on the North Island. I always struggle with it, and I've flown in here so many times. I seem to really struggle to find it. It's next to a racetrack, and the racetrack helps me to kind of orientate myself. And I kind of have some visual reference points that I use, but I still struggle to find it. And at night, good luck. It is pure chance if you actually hit the runway. That's been my experience, at least. Anyway, runway 34 is where we're headed. So, taxi light on, it illuminates. Lovely. Now, somewhere down here I have a parking brake. Now, this is where a dome light comes in handy, because I can actually see where I'm going. There we go. I'll see what I need to hit. Now, I think we can kind of taxi straight ahead for a bit. I can see a lit windsock over here. The kind of taxiways here at Te Kuiti are hard enough to find during the day. At night, really challenging. It's scary. Night plane, X-plane at night, it's scary dark. You know, the night is... I'm reminded of that... what's that character on Game of Thrones who used to say, the night is dark and full of terrors. Well, that's what it feels like here in X-plane. I'm not really too concerned about a taxiway here, folks, but I'll try and find one. There's one. A gravelly taxiway. Oh, I'm liking it. I'm liking the challenge. Always enjoy myself. That's a nice view. Now, we've got flaps set, we've got trims set. We've got everything plugged into the box. We'll just gently does it here until we get to the end of this gravel road, and then we'll hang a right onto runway 34. And the other dog decides she needs to be heard. Oh, they both want to be heard. It's all happening. They're getting very, very concerned, aren't they? Hey? Just let me pause the sim for a sec, folks. Oh, I tell you, folks, some days it's hard to make a video. I wouldn't have it any other way. The animals, they are as much a part of this channel as the old man speaking these words is. We are lined up runway 34 at Te Kuiti, I think. Now, I say I think because if you have a look at over here on the GTN, it looks like we're slightly off the strip. I think we're actually on the strip. Now, let me just jump outside. That's the strip, I reckon. It's a little bit hard to make out. I mean, this is... I don't know that I expected to have this much challenge for a video. But anyway, folks, you get it raw here on the channel. We, I think, are good to go. No, we're not. The dog decides. I've forgotten something. Can you speak English? Tell me what I've forgotten. What have I forgotten? I've got the trim set. I think we're okay. We've got our barrow ready to go. We'll get some oxygen happening when we need to. We've got local barrow set. I think we're good to go. Stop whinging, Doc. Let's do it, folks. We are burning through money here in FS Economy. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the brakes. We'll go flight idle. Hold the brakes. This is a pretty short strip. I'll just zoom this display out so I won't feel so bad about it not showing me actually on the paved surface. Righto, away we go. We've got a crosswind from the left. Pull juicy. Try and keep it straight down this alleged runway. Righto, power set. We're good, folks. Oh, isn't this fun? Oh, the dogs are just not enjoying this. We're going to get airborne. Oh, there we go. Before the fence, I think. We're good, folks. We're safely away, despite the protestations of the dog. Oh, we're heavy though, aren't we? Oh, look at it. We're struggling. We are climbing though, folks. I'll see you somewhere en route towards Nelson. Alrighty, the rather long climb continues. We are ITT limited. We're kind of pushing just the bottom of the yellow arc there. We do have realistic engine set in the settings. You can go for, let me show you, folks. This will be easy to explain. If I can find the click spot, where is it? There. Aircraft options. So engine mode, let me just zoom down there. I've got mine set to realistic. I've got steering set to realistic and pusher set to realistic as well. For what it's worth, folks, if you want to have a broader look at this aeroplane, I've got a first impressions video a few videos ago on the channel where I can't remember where we flew it from and to, but I have a vague memory that it was a red livery. Anyway, it's on the channel, folks. We continue our climb up towards flight level 240. I do have some concerns, as does the dog, I feel, about our fuel situation. Same, got an endurance of 124. We've been fighting a headwind until quite recently, and it's sort of swung around to the west. Which one do we go? Is it that one? No, where is it? This one. Fuel planning. Now, earlier it was showing a deficit. Oh, we're good. We're going to have all of 12 gallons. This number should improve as we get up towards our cruise. Our fuel flow, this thing just sips on the juice. It'll reduce down to the early 50s gallons per hour, so we should be fine. Saying we'll have all of 12 gallons at Nelson, and we do have some. We have an option. We don't have to fly the full instrument approach. That'll shave off some miles and shave off some fuel. That's what it looks like, folks. X-plane 12.2.0 at night. Not much to see, admittedly. But it's nice here in the VC. I really like this. That's nice. Nice place to while away a little bit of time. Anyway, I'll see you. I'll probably somewhere over the Cook Strait. We'll be at our cruise altitude. We'll check our fuel situation. We'll check our dog situation, and yeah, we'll see you then. Alrighty, we are high over the Cook Strait, folks. Well, flight level 240 anyway. High. 135 miles to touchdown, although I feel like I've just got a feeling that we may instigate some track shortening, as the cool kids say, for our arrival. I don't think we're going to fly the full instrument approach, but time will tell. I was reflecting earlier about feedback. So I mentioned at the start of the video the dickhead ratio. I want to be very clear. I'm not talking about dickheads in the context of anyone who provides negative feedback is a dickhead. Of course not. I want to be clear on what dickhead means, and that that is referring to someone who goes out of their way to be negative, not just towards the content, but towards the person creating the content. To, spread a bit of hate. Someone goes out of their way to say, I don't like your stuff, and here's what I think of you. Full well knowing that they don't have a damn clue who the person is who's created the content. They just feel it. They feel a need to express their hate towards another human being. And we see this in the world more broadly, more and more. And don't get me started on the state of the world, folks. But in the context of feedback, see, I've had a lot of time and a lot of years to think about this, because in my career, without going into detail, in my career I had the necessity, or the opportunity, depending on how you want to look at it, necessity in terms of I needed to produce stuff in order to earn a living to support my family. Opportunity in that I was able to express my creative soul through my work. I had the necessity / opportunity to produce a whole bunch of creative things. Let's just call them things, right? Different contexts, different industries, different media. Just creative things, like lots and lots of them. At times, I was the creative thing. That's a whole story on its own. Short version, I produced creative work. And in doing so, I was provided with feedback. A lot of feedback over decades. So much feedback. And something that, in order for my mental survival, something that I had to develop was how to deal with that. So you would put in a huge amount of effort into this creative work. At times, months of effort, like months of full-time effort to produce this piece of work. And you put it out there for the world, well, an organization to use, to respond to. And you'd get back feedback. And sometimes the feedback wasn't particularly complimentary. It was what you might consider negative, or what some people consider negative feedback. I don't see it as positive or negative feedback, by the way, but I'll explain. I'm getting there, folks. Anyway, I would receive feedback. And it took me a while. It took me, I'm talking about a lot of years, to kind of be able to receive that feedback in a constructive way. And the way I did that was I'd look at everything, all feedback, through the lens of what is helpful and what is not helpful. Rather than positive or negative, I would say this feedback is helpful or it's not helpful. And it was helpful in the context of, can this feedback help me to produce a better product or a better creative work? Will it help me to improve my process or whatever into the future? And if it was helpful, great. I would apply it. Everything else was unhelpful. Even really positive praise, effusive at times, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen, rah, 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 that could be unhelpful because it didn't do anything to help me produce a better product in the future. It helped me to refine my process. Helpful or unhelpful. And I share this because the world that we live in encourages people to share their opinion. Perhaps, or much easier than it used to be. All this feedback that I used to receive way back was in person, and then it kind of took the form of memos, and then in later years it became all electronic with email and whatever. Now in 2025, we have all these ways of sharing our opinion. And if you've got a channel, for example, a YouTube channel, or you're thinking about creating a YouTube channel, you need to have a way of dealing with feedback. And because you're going to get some stuff come through that is helpful to you and some stuff that is not. And you need to have a personal process for how you manage that. So that was a really long-winded explanation, a clarification of what I meant by dickhead. I don't mean people who don't like your stuff are dickheads. Shit, half the people who watch this channel would be dickheads. If that was the criteria, and you're not all dickheads. I'm talking about dickheads in the context of someone who goes out of their way, not just to say, hey, I don't like your stuff, but I don't like you as a person, without knowing the person whatsoever, just spreading hate, putting negativity in the world for the sake of it. That for me is a dickhead. And if that's you, do yourself a favour and piss off. Well, into our descent now, folks, down through 12,000. We are definitely not going to fly what's appearing on our GTN. That's just an absolute mess, isn't it? We've activated the vectors to final for the LNAV down on runway RNAV down onto runway 02. So we're kind of going to head out here. We're in heading hold at the moment. We'll kind of fly a left pattern, a very wide left pattern or left circuit down onto 02. Wind is quite strong, apparently, from the northwest here at Nelson at the moment, but it's nowhere near as strong as it is in Wellington at the moment, which is gusting sort of 30 knots. 18 gusting 30 is what I saw on the METAR. So anyway, folks, we're almost there. The next segment will have us making a final approach down to runway 02 at Nelson. And we're established on the approach, folks. That's the city of Nelson, the airport down there. We might let Georgie fly this approach. Just go approach mode, see what he does. Will he track the glide slope for us? He should do. Haven't tried this in the PC-12, so no time like the present, folks. We are 7 miles from touchdown. We are flying the glide. Established. We've got ourselves down to 170 odd knots, so we'll just take the power out a little bit, let our speed stabilize. We'll get configured. We'll start getting configured at about, well, the next waypoint, which is kind of our final waypoint, right? That's tracking the lateral and the vertical quite nicely. You're doing well here, Georgie. Been a very enjoyable flight. Not much to see, folks, but I've enjoyed looking at this beautifully lit VC. I love flying this aeroplane. Definitely one of my best purchases in recent times. Patru is next, down to 160 knots, 2,000 feet. We might take flaps 15 at this time and take gear. George is still in command. What's the breeze doing? Yes, so northwesterly as forecast. A little bit more juicy. 2 whites, 2 reds if I squint hard. Oh, you're doing a great job here, George. Bloody lovely. Right, we'll go flaps 30 and Georgie off. There we go. Let's do it, folks. Let's get ourselves set up, lined up at the runway, hey? Retrimming, got ourselves down to 110-ish. Be a flaps 30 approach. It is using our glide for reference. We're a little high on it. Big black hole in front of us here would be the water. Night in X-Plane. Absolutely lovely. They're definitely high on it. Speed good. Breeze is turning into a crosswind. I'll take this opportunity, folks, to say thank you for your company on this this flight, and for your broader support. And thanks for not being a dickhead. I don't know. I feel like the title of this video might be "No Dickheads." We'll see. Alright, we're high on it. Gotta get ourselves down. It's strobing light. Starting to get a bit annoying. You wouldn't want to have epilepsy. Slowing down a bit more, fella. Runway 02 Nelson, folks. Overhead to VOR. Speed good. Oh, we're strobing everywhere. What's going on here? Jeez, okay. There we go, runway 02, touchdown. Welcome to Nelson, folks. I'll love and leave you at this point. Thank you again for your company, and until we next meet, you stay well, enjoy your simming, and bye for now.